Greetings and welcome back once again. Today I wanted to touch quickly because I had a few questions about genealogy research. In the recent years, we've had a lot of ancestry DNA test kits for the general public come out, not necessarily for paternity, but to see whether or not or who you're related to, as well as where in the world did your family come from. And there's a huge industry for that, right? The other side of that conversation is genealogical research. I've seen these tests and they're like, vaguely, you're from Ireland slash England slash Botswana. And you're like, where's the story? So, what I've been doing with Marcus Garvey, with Bob Marley, even with my own family research, is showing you through illustration how you do the family genealogical research. Okay. So, there are certain sites that you can go on. You can hire a professional, which is going to cost you a grip. Okay. It's going to cost you time or it's going to cost you money. You're going to have to choose your choice. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, there are some free resources that you can use to get started. And I've said this before, but I decided to make a video because, I keep getting asked. Number one, you have to be inquisitive. You have to want to know and be prepared for whatever it is that you're going to find. It is history, but it also affects you and how it is that you live your life, even if you didn't know that the situation occurred in time past, right? So, number two, you're going to need to know some names. So if the elders are still alive, the aunties, the grandpas, the family Bible that listed the information, you're going to need to go on a fact-finding mission. Because even if you get a genealogist, what are you going to tell them? You understand what I'm saying? You're going to kind of need some names, some birth dates, to the best of your ability, the region that they were born, if they were born on the island, if they were born in Europe, if they were born in America. You're kind of going to need to know a little bit about a little bit, right? After that, some stories. If you're younger and your grandparents are still alive, it may be a little bit difficult depending on the region because certain of these records they go far back, but when you get closer to the present day, especially because people are living. So for instance, if you go on ancestry.com, right, and the people are living, the information is kind of blocked out. Right. But if the people have passed on and they've transitioned early 1900, 1800, may get more information. So that's also something to know. Maiden names is something that you may want to begin to jot down. What is the maiden name of your mother? What was the maiden name of your father's mother? Things of that nature that can help, get towards the meat and potatoes of this conversation. So what did I say? I said, you're going to need birth dates. You're going to need names. You're going to need maiden names to the best of your ability. You're going to need regions. Where do you think or where have you heard? You're going to need to talk to your family members or family friends, or consult your Bible where they may have written it down. That may also be helpful. The names of their children or how many children. I know you're like, I'm searching. I don't know all of this stuff. Try to source as much information as you can for what you know, because I have a little secret to tell. Based on, it's been years now that I've been doing this, and I have to give all praise be to the Creator. Very successful in doing this, right? It did not come without all the things that I'm talking about. Talking to my grandparents, talking to family members who knew the information to the best of their ability, kind of getting a loose picture, because my picture was kind of hard to put together, but it began to come together when you get these little details. And again, I've showed you the work in the Marcus Garvey. I've showed you the work in Bob Marley, finding Cedella Booker's birth certificate, finding her father or Mariah's birth certificate, finding Norval's information, finding their marriage certificate. A lot of people were like, oh, Norval and Cedella weren't married. We found their marriage certificate. We found Bob Marley's no, that's Bob Marley's family. Now we're finding information from the Gleaner on Mr. Honorable Marcus Garvey, and definitely stay tuned. So even though we're doing history, I'm also real time showing you how I do what I do. And I've had a lot of questions like, Amuna, how are you doing this? What sites are you using? Some of these sites are paid and some of these sites are free. Again, if you like, I really don't have the time, then you might have to hire a genealogist. But even if you do, you're still going to need to know a little something about a little something to get them going. You know, it's like a private eye for the past. They got to have a little something to go on. So with that said, yeah, if I missed anything or if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the description below. And let me just do a little personal testimony before I go. Why are we digging up the past? We, the people who are here presently, live out to a certain degree the energy, the stories, the thought processes, the emotions of those who are in our soul family. Okay. And oftentimes we don't know why we do what we do. Or there's a certain trend in our family that keeps going and we see it and we're like, yo, I want to stop this trend. And then you don't know where the trend started. You don't know how to stop the trend, right? I'm talking about the information. So, you know, if you begin to glean the lessons from the past and understand who is the source of this behavior, how can you stop it, then that will help in this quest to break or generational curses or start a new thing. You know, it's interesting that I was watching a woman do a genealogy test and she found her white counterparts in England, right? And when she goes to the mansion that they live in, okay, because that's how they got the money to build it. In this room, the man goes in and there's all these pictures on the wall. Okay. And he's like, this is my great uncle such and such who did blah, blah, blah. And this is my great grandfather and my great grandmother who. So there are many people in this world who are not confused. So they're very clear on who came before them. And this is why when we, the people who have lost to a certain degree our heritage, our understanding, whoever you may be in the world, who have been disconnected through trauma, through whatever happened, colonialization, through colonialization, whatever the disconnect is, that disconnect kind of, you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going, right? So you're up against, or you're thinking that the playing field is level when in actuality it is not, because you have one set of people, whoever they may be, who are very clear about where they're coming from and where they're going, and then you have another set of people who's kind of going around the mulberry bush because they don't know the history, don't know the past, don't know that you're in this rip current of information, of energy that is taking you off course, and you don't know why. You feel compelled. And you're like, oh, somebody must have did something. Oh, yeah, somebody did something. Somebody did something. Understand? So, and I don't, without going too deep, this is the value personally that I have found, and professionally by helping other people. This is the value from knowing your past, knowing your history, knowing where you're coming from. So Ancestry DNA is going to give you the DNA. Immediately, the value is, okay, somebody else may be connected to you, because some of these regions, people may take different tests and it's giving you different regions. The value is in knowing that somebody else took the test and maybe you're connected to that person, right? But the genealogy research is going to give you that story, and stories are what push history forward. Stories are what life are made of. This compilation of stories, what happened, why it happened, when it happened, who it happened to. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is Amuna. If you have any questions or comments about this, and you're like, Amuna, you, man, check out the videos. Check out the Bob Marley where we come with the facts. Check out the Marcus Garvey. We're like on episode 6 when we're coming with the facts, right? About the story, the paperwork behind what happened, and we can only surmise why, right? So with that said, until next time, one love.